Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening.
Word up. Mic check. Justin Hunt, it's all happening. Thank you to everybody rocking with the channel. Thank you to guys, everybody who subscribed through the channel, share the video, share the link. It's priceless. Big thank you to everyone who's donated. If you'd like to donate, hit the Cash App that's right up there, or you hit the link in the description. And big thank you to all my newest members. Sade Hodder, Lynn Singleton, Dante Wyatt, P. Vozel, Woshi Games, Ro Cremundum Spinks, Vasper Anates, BL, Laura Approved, Dextination Gracie, Giovanna Zayla, Vision Play Entertainment, Loud Ladri Muhammad, Tiptoe, 9-second applause. Word up. That's a throwback. I haven't done shout outs in a minute, so I'm bringing those back now too. But thank you to everybody for joining this channel. Thank you to everybody for all the support. Thank you to you all for experimenting with me on how I get this live thing going. And so we are now day 3 of TCMS, the Company Man Show, live. 1-second applause. Big shout out to all of the moderators, Lils. Big shout out to Bucktooth. I think I saw you in there. You guys are amazing for holding me down. Big shout out to everybody in the Discord who might be checking this out over there too. So busy day today, super busy day today. I was on set all day and we had a fantastic interview. You'll see this soon when I announce what I'm announcing in the coming weeks. But so my day was thrown off completely. And so I've been on set most of the day, and then I came back here and I had a series of phone calls, and I had a couple of things I need to do for just on the production side of things and for a breakdown that I'm scripting right now. And so today, I said this yesterday. Yesterday, I was like, I don't want to do this in the evening. And here I am at 8 o'clock. So all of this is still trying to understand what time is the best time, what time I can be most consistent with. But I do want to be consistent with these live streams. So today, you know what today is. It's Tuesday. It's Chart Report. Every Tuesday is Chart Report. 1-second applause to Chart Report. And so we're going to take a look at Chart Report today. And also thank you to anyone who's ever given a super chat here and all the support that you guys have shown me over the course of my career, but also the course of this channel as well. And so, all right, let's get into Chart Report. Let's see what this looks like. All right, so we are going to share this screen. This is the screen we're going to share. All right, and let's see. Boom. All right, back at number 1, still at number 1, The Fate of Ophelia. Taylor Swift, last week, number 1, peak position, number 1, 7 weeks on the chart. 1-second applause. This song is actually number 3 on the global charts. On the global charts, the number 2 song on the Billboard Hot 100, Golden, is actually leading across the world. Last week, Golden was number 2, peak position number 1, 22 weeks on the chart. 1-second applause. Now, Golden, I think that again speaks to just the global phenomenon of K-pop demon hunters. K-pop demon hunters, right? I mean, I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was just a great, a story about overcoming your demons. And I think that is something we all need to do. We all got to be able to fight our demons and overcome our demons. So big shout out to K-pop demon hunters. 1-second applause. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay too. I'm engineering this on my own. So I have to look back and forth at different screens. All right. Number 3, Ordinary, Alex Warren. Last week, number 3, peak position number 1, 41 weeks on the chart. 1-second applause. Big fan of this song. Called this song from Jump Street. I just think it's a very strong ballad. It's not up for any Grammy nominations this year. Alex Warren is up for Best New Artist, but the song itself was completely snubbed from the Grammys. I saw this video that I don't think I could play right now. I saw it over in Boxden, and I'm not sure if you guys were fans of the show Orange is the New Black. I used to love Orange is the New Black. And I think her name was Pensatucky. Pensatucky is a character on that show. And she played a drug addict on the show. But I saw a video of her, and now I've seen a series of videos of her dancing like Britney Spears. I'm not sure what's going on there. But this week, the video of her dancing topless was to Alex Warren's Ordinary. and she was damn near doing ballet to this song. So that is the anecdote that I have around Alex Warren's Ordinary. I hope Pennsatucky is okay. I don't know her real name. I think the first time I ever saw her was on 8 Mile. I think that's the first time I saw her. But if you guys have seen that video of her dancing to Alex Warren's Ordinary. 1 second applause to you all. All right, number 4, Man I Need, Olivia Dean. Last week, number 4, P position number 4, 13 weeks on the chart. Just a monster song. Called this one early too. I actually put Olivia Dean in the thumbnail for the first time on the chart report, and I think she's earned it. I mean, this is a song that's been rising rapidly. She's a rising star, just in generally speaking. And the song and the album is having quite a bit of success. Olivia Dean is also up for Best New Artist this year. She deserves it all. 1 second applause. Number 5, Opalite, Taylor Swift. Number 6, Mutt. Leon Thomas said, "Baby, I'm a dog, I'm a mutt." Woo! Never gets old. Never gets old. Last week, number 7, P position number 6, 42 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause to Leon Thomas. Number 7, Daisies, Justin Bieber. Number 8, All I Want for Christmas Is You, Mariah Carey. Last week, number 11, P position number 1, 74 weeks on the chart. This will probably be number 1 next week, right? It just jumped 3 spots to number 8, this week. And this is the most successful song in Billboard Hot 100 history. Every year, it's the number 1 Christmas song. There's a feature story here talking about all of the Christmas songs that we're going to see in the chart this week. I'm not going to pull out anything yet. I think we've got a couple weeks to really talk about Christmas, I think. But this is one of those songs where you go to the Gap, you go to Uniqlo, you go to Target, you go outside to any retail location, you're going to hear this song. And it's been like that for a very long time. It's one of my favorite Christmas songs, probably top 3, top 4, something like that. Maybe I'll do a list, maybe I won't. 1 second applause to Mariah Carey. Really interesting conversation around Mariah Carey and Money Long that's been taking place this week. And there is a interview where Mariah Carey is asked about a cover that Money Long did for one of her songs. And Mariah Carey took a very similar position to Prince's position. He was never really a fan of other artists covering his song. So she was asked specifically about a Money Long cover. And that's how she answered the question. Now, Money Long fans took that as a snub, right? And they were thinking that Mariah Carey was saying negative things about Money Long in general. But Money Long and Mariah Carey have a good relationship as far as I can tell. And I've seen Mariah Carey compliment her before. But nevertheless, I mean, it was just like this oddball conversation that I saw this week between Mariah Carey and Money Long. So I hope this doesn't spill into something more protracted. I think this is just an example of how you could take a clip of a conversation and it turns into something else by the time it hits social media. Love this song. Big fan of this song. 1 second applause. Number 9, Folded, Kehlani. Last week, number 8, peak position number 7, 23 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause to Kehlani. Really powerful song. Really great song. I love what Kehlani said this week about AI. And I'm going to do a separate segment at some point on that. I don't think I'm going to do it tonight. But what she said about AI and the fact that AI is so dope because it steals from everybody. Well, everybody should get paid. And that's how I feel. I feel like that about way more than just AI, though. I feel like every website, every app, every platform that uses our data should pay us because it's our data. That's what it is, right? Particularly with AI. The entire AI's existence is based off the combined combination of human innovation. That's what it is. I feel like we spend a lot of time thinking that, oh, this guy, this person, this company, they created a business and therefore they're entitled to all the spoils. Well, this business is based off of humanity. And I feel like humanity should get paid. I feel like there's conversations around UBI, Universal Basic Income. There's conversation about AI taking all kinds of jobs. White collar jobs coming soon. White collar jobs coming soon for the chopping block. And all of this capital is still, all of these inventions are still generating massive wealth to the point where we'll have a trillionaire by 2030. I was watching a clip and someone was putting this into context and they said, if you rewind 1 million seconds, that's 233 days. If you rewind 1 billion seconds, then that's the Roman. You're now back in the Roman Empire. I don't want to hear that there isn't funds available, that these companies aren't making enough money to actually be paying people for the fact that they're based off the entire combination of human experience. Like, that's just where I'm at. And Kehlani was talking about that in a very insightful way, very concise, and very eloquent way. So there's another story that I'm going to do most likely next week, I think, that will include what Kehlani had to say specifically. But she's having a great year. 1 second applause. Number 10, I Got Better. No, you didn't. Ooh, Yuck, Gross. Number 11, Last Christmas, Wham. Number 12, Back to Friends, Somber. Number 13, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree, Brenda Lee. Last week, number 19, P position number 1, 66 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. I single this one out because I always think about Home Alone with this one. Rocking around Christmas tree. It was also a song that was on the Gap playlist, Christmas playlist, when I used to work at Gap Kids. When I was growing up, or not even growing up, I guess I was still growing up when I was in high school in South Carolina, in Greenville, South Carolina. Represent. 1 second plus. And I got the job in the funniest way because I just wanted to work in retail so I can get a discount. I wanted a discount from the Gap or someplace so badly. You know, when you make $119 working at McDonald's every 2 weeks, you didn't have much. There wasn't much you could spend your money on outside of a polo shirt, a movie ticket, and a video game, which is actually pretty far, all things considered. But I felt like I would save more money if I got a job in retail and I could at least give them, I could get a discount off their clothes. And everyone was trying to work at the Gap. Everyone was trying to work at Abercrombie. Everybody was trying to work at Structure. Everybody was trying to work at Express. And I'm talking like all the high schools in the county. Everybody was trying to work at all these mugs. And I was like, man, I'm never going to get in. No, like people weren't applications weren't even being responded to because everybody was trying to work at the mall. And I can't remember what this girl's name was, but there was a girl in my homeroom I sat next to, and she worked at Gap Kids. And she was like, Justin, you should apply to Gap Kids because guys never apply to Gap Kids. And I was like, oh, okay. So I applied to Gap Kids, hired me right away, and they made me the greeter. 1 second applause. Made me the greeter, put me at the front of the store, and all I had to do was keep the front table organized and say, hey, how you doing? All right, have a good day. Just greeting all day at Gap Kids. It was awesome. And you still got 50% off 6 items a month at the Gap. And this was my favorite song to jam to around that point in time. So big shout out to Brenda Lee. 1 second applause. Number 14, Jingle Bell Rock, Bobby Helms. Number 15, What I Want, Ilya Gross featuring Tate McRae. Number 16, Choosing Texas, Ella Langley. Big shout out to Ella Langley. I think Ella Langley just won Album of the Year at the CMAs. I believe that's the case. Ella Langley also has a song with Big X the Plug we'll see coming up here too. Congratulations to her. 1 second applause. 17, It Depends, Chris Brown featuring Bryson Tiller. Last week, number 16, P position number 16, 17 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. Number 18, So Easy to Fall in Love, Olivia Dean. There she is again. Last week, number 29, P position number 18, 8 weeks on the chart. Big shout out to her. She's having an incredible year. 1 second applause. Number 19, Santa Tell Me, Ariana Grande. And number 20, Man Child, Sabrina Carpenter. So if we take a look back, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. R&B songs in the top 20. R&B is still moving. And I know that there's been a lot of conversation about there being no hip hop in the top 40 for the first time in 35 years over the past few weeks. Now, we saw last week that Gunna and Burna Boy cracked the top 40. So now we're going to be on week 2 because there is a rap track that is in the top 40. And so despite all of that conversation around what's happening in hip hop and what's happening in rap music, R&B stay winning. R&B is up right now. And I'm a big fan of a lot of these artists that are coming out. And I feel like that is also something that works very well in alignment with the broader conversation around this shift that's happening all around us. You know, hip hop is going underground and maybe the environment's moving back to the 80s. And perhaps that's contributing to why rap isn't on the chart in the same way. But you can still see hip hop throughout R&B, of course, and you can see hip hop throughout a lot of these country songs that are still in here as well. So the aesthetic of hip hop, the energy of hip hop, and also a lot of the drum patterns that you're seeing and cadences that you're seeing on some of these country joints and some of these pop joints, they're still very hip hop centric, in my opinion. And so, and R&B is still carrying the flag. So big shout out to R&B. 5 songs in the top 20. 1 second applause. I mean, that's a lot, right? Like that's significant. That's 25% of the top 20 is R&B. So something to consider. When you're sitting around Thanksgiving, you need to talk about music with your friends and your family. You could talk about how 25% of the top 20 is R&B. 21, Soda Pop, South Side Boys, Andrew Choi, Neckwave, Danny Chung, Kevin Wu, and Samuel Lee. 22, Tears, Sabrina Carpenter. 23, Raven Lene, Love Me Not. Last week, 22, peak position 5, 34 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. 24, Your Idol, South Side Boys, Andrew Choi, Neckwave, Danny Chung, Kevin Wu, and Samuel Lee. 25, Traveling Soldier, Cody Johnson. Traveling Soldier. That sounds like a Confederate anthem right there. 26, Tit for Tat, Tate McRae. 27, Underneath the Tree, Kelly Clarkson. I don't know if I know this Christmas song. I'm not sure if I'm up on. I'm not sure if I'm up on all of the, I guess, sort of modern Christmas songs. Maybe that's fair to say. If you guys know this song and it's good, let me know. But shout out to Kelly Clarkson. 28, Elizabeth Taylor, Taylor Swift. 29, the Christmas song, Merry Christmas to You, Nat King Cole. Last week, number 50, peak position number 9, 51 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. 30, It's the Most Wonderful Time of Year, Andy Williams. Last week, 47, peak position 5, 47 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. This one was also on the Gap playlist as well. 31, Gabriella Katsai. 32, It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas, Michael Bublé. 33, Don't Mind If I Do, Riley Green featuring Ella Langley. 34, Let It Snow, Dean Martin. Peak position number 7, 37 weeks on the chart. I might be today years old when I realized this song was made by Dean Martin. I mean, perhaps, and maybe I'm just wrong about this. I always think about the Boyz II Men song, Let It Snow. Now, I don't know if that's a cover. Boyz II Men would do covers back in the day. If it's a cover, let me know in the comments section. But I'm looking at this, and in my mind, I'm hearing Nate, Mike, Sean, and Juan. Big shout out to Boyz II Men. 1 second applause. 35, Fear, NF. And this is the rap track that's in the top 40. New entrant, debut. Now, NF has an EP. I think the EP is called Fear that just dropped. If you're not familiar with NF, he is a very, very popular Christian rapper. Now, I believe at this point in his career, just like most Christian rappers, I don't think he wants to be called a Christian rapper, but that is where he built his fan base. And so he had a monster debut this week on the Billboard 200, which we'll see shortly. And you're going to see several tracks from this EP that are also in the Hot 100. Let me know if you guys are fans of NF. I think he could rap really good. This song itself doesn't feel quintessential hip hop. It's more like rapping over sort of like guitar driven pop, I would say. So take that for what you will as to where hip hop is in the top 40. He is listed as a rapper. He is listed as hip hop on these charts. So the streak is, I guess, 2 weeks old, maybe 3 weeks old. I guess we got 3 weeks going. But I watched the video. The video is captivating. It is captivating video. The cinematography is fantastic. You could see the inner struggle that takes place within this song, Fear. It's almost like he's in somewhere dark and scary along the multiverse, and it's pulling him in all kinds of different directions. And he's trying to wash away his sins, and it's not working out too well. So I definitely think people should take a look at this video. Let me know if you're a fan of Fear as well, and NF as well. 1 second applause. 36, How It's Done, Huntrix, EJ, Audrey Nuna, and Ray Ami. 37, Sleigh Ride, the Ronettes. I saw something funny on Twitter the other day. Someone was like, "What is your grandmother's name?" And I want to hear like old names that just are out of style. And my grandma's name was Ernestine. Ernestine sounded like she grew up with the Ronettes on the radio. You know what I'm saying? The Ronettes. 1 second applause. 38, 6 months later, Megan Maroney. 39, Somewhere Over Laredo, Lainey Wilson. 40, A Holly Jolly Christmas, Burl Ives. 41, No Broke Boys, Disco Lines, and Tinashe. Last week, 36, peak position 36, 19 weeks on the chart. This is a sleeper hit. Cracked the top 40, has been hanging around for 19 weeks. You know, she performed I think she did the national anthem during one of the World Series games here at Dodger Stadiums. And this is just an up-tempo, fun, dance song with Tinashe doing her thing on it. I'm not mad at it. 1 second applause. 42, What It Sounds Like, Huntrix, EJ, Audrey Nuna, and Ray Ami. 43, Happened to Me, Russell Dickerson. 44, Wish List, Taylor Swift. 45, Who Gon' Fuck the Night, Gunna featuring Burna Boy. Last week, 40, peak position 40, 15 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. Just barely kept us in the conversation on the top 40 streak last week. 46, Father Figure, Taylor Swift. 47, Where Is My Husband, Ray. Last week, 58, peak position 47, 8 weeks on the chart. This song is actually number 7 on the global charts. And you can see it's creeping up each week. It's interesting how if you Google this song, what they say it is, they say the song is electronic dance. When I hear it, I hear R&B pop. I feel like there's some hip hop drums in there. I feel like there's some rapping cadences that's going on. I listen to this song and it just sounds like the genre should be Beyonce. It's a fantastic song. It's a bop. It's catchy as hell. You know what I mean? And it's got the best title in the Billboard Hot 100. Where is my husband? I don't know, but I guess she's really looking to get married. 1 second applause. 48, Christmas, Baby Please Come Home, Darlene Love. 49, Feliz Navidad, Jose Feliciano. 50, 20 cigarettes, Ew Yuck Gross. 51, Hell at Night, 51, Hell at Night, Big X The Plug featuring Ella Langley. Last week, 46, peak position 35, 15 weeks on the chart. We talked about Big X The Plug. I think it was my first live, the first episode of the Company Man Show. And all the hell Big X The Plug has been taken for making it seem like he had to, that being hip hop isn't enough to be a big artist or the biggest artist. And that conversation is still spilling over. I haven't heard Big X actually say anything about it, but he has dropped a video with Ill Yuck Gross, or one of the Ill Yuck Grosses, since that conversation took place, or at least since the virality of that clip that was from a conversation that took place in August took place. Sometimes it's better to just let things run their course. And perhaps that's what he'll do on this one. Let me know if you're still a fan of Big X The Plug, or if you're looking at him with a side eye. There was a number of people who were saying I should give Big X The Plug Ooh Yuck Gross designation. And I don't see that. I don't think we're there yet. I mean, look how long I had to think about Ooh Yuck Drake. You know what I'm saying? And he did a whole lot more to earn that designation. So I'm not all the way at that point with Big X The Plug yet. I still think he's really talented. And I do think that perhaps he learned some things, because one of the things that was so interesting about that conversation was he was talking about how much work that they put into country songs. He said this album took him 18 months to make, and his typical rap album only takes 6 months to make. And he's ready to go back to rap music because he was tired of going through that process in country. That to me was really the bigger story out of this Big X The Plug word vomit. That to me was a side as to why there's been so many chart challenges with rap music recently. Well, if everybody thinks that you can just rush through anything and throw anything out, yeah, well, now the genre projects as disposable. Another reason why I'm really excited that things have now gone back underground. Another reason I'm really excited about this shift. So thank you, Big X The Plug, for at least letting the world know how hard rap music ain't working. 1 second applause. 52, Yukon, Justin Bieber. 53, Dracula, Tame Impala. One of my favorite listens this year. I still go back to this project quite a bit. This song is dope, but I still go back to this Tame Impala project when I'm just doing background music kind of stuff. Last week, 38, peak position 38 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. 54, It's a Crime. Mariah the Scientist and Kali Uchis. Last week, 45, peak position 45, 15 weeks on the chart. Didn't get one Grammy nomination. I was very surprised about that. Now, this is still rather early in her career. So let's say she drops a project next year. It garners more attention and becomes a really big thing. She'll still be able to be up for Best New Artist, because this is within the window in which they allow artists to qualify for that category. So I think that's probably the best opportunity that's still in front of Mariah the Scientist in 2026. But not one R&B nomination. I feel like Burnin' Blue was everywhere for a very long time. This is her second hit off that album. She deserves it all as well. 1 second applause for Mariah the Scientist. 55, A Couple Minutes, Olivia Dean, doing her thing. Last week, 72, peak position 55, 4 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. You see what I mean by all this R&B? R&B is having a moment, and I feel like that is a story that should be told as well. I mean, particularly speaking from a chart standpoint, they tend to look at hip hop and R&B as the same category. So we can say hip hop is falling off, but R&B is stepping up something major. 1 second applause. My man, Miles Smith, nice to meet you. Last week, 54, peak position 54, 24 weeks on the chart. I think this would do a whole lot better if it wasn't Christmas time as well. I don't know if they recently just pushed the button on this, but this song has been hanging around, as you can see, 24 weeks on the chart. But most of that time was spent in the 80s and 90s, maybe the 70s, 80s and 90s. Past 2 weeks, it's creeping toward top 40. Listen to Miles Smith. Really, really fantastic voice. Really great songwriter. I don't know what genre it is. Like, it's not R&B. There's a pop quotient to it, but it's not quite country. I don't know. But I rock with Miles Smith. 1 second applause. 57, House Again, Hudson Westbrook. 58, Robbed You, Summer Walker and Mariah the Scientist. New entrant. 1 second applause. I have not sank into the Summer Walker album yet, and I'm hearing really, really, really positive things about it. It did very well in the charts this week. You'll see that in the Billboard 200. I had someone describe it to me as a breakup album. Like, so perhaps maybe that's the spirit of the age. I feel like there's a lot of music that's like that right now. But let me know what you guys think about this Summer Walker album. I haven't heard it. It's on my to listen list this week. I'll probably take a listen to it when I'm driving around making Thanksgiving stops. But 1 second applause to Summer Walker. 59, Darling, Chase Matthews. 60, Go Girl, Summer Walker, Lotto, and Doja Cat. I know this song goes up. 1 second applause. Shot Calling, Young Boy Never Broke Again. Last week, 51. Peak position 43, 10 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. 62, Who I Was, NF and MGK. This is also off the NF Fear EP, which just released this week. Again, we'll see that in the Billboard 200 shortly. 63, Better Me For You, Brown Eyes, Max McNown. 64, The Life of a Showgirl, Taylor Swift and Sabrina Carpenter. 65, Back in the Saddle, Luke Combs. 66, Bottles at the Bottles at the Bottles in this mom's gutter. Airtime, Cardi B, last week, 88, peak position 43, 8 weeks on the chart. It's moving fast now. And again, I think this is probably because they released the Jeezy remix 2 weeks ago. We did a reaction to that song on the channel last week. I'm just happy my favorite Cardi B song is starting to get some love. She just gave birth. I know this has to be a priority when it comes to what visuals she's going to put out. The question is, are Jeezy and Lotto also going to be a part of any video that she releases for Airtime? Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments section. Love this song. Bottles at the bottles at the bottles in this month's gutter. 1 second applause. Last 67, Jealous Type, Doja Cat. Last week, 56. Peak position 28, 13 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. 68, Baby, Summer Walker and Chris Brown. Peak position 68, new entrant. 69, No, Summer Walker, new entrant. 70, Sorry, NF with James Arthur, new entrant. 1 second applause to all three of those. 71, Last One to Know, Gavin Addict. 72, 12 to 12, Somber. 73, Sugar on My Tongue, Tyler the Creator. Last week, 69, peak position 41, 18 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. Yesterday, we looked at a clip of De La Soul talking about artists that they feel are superstars or about to become superstars. And Pos mentioned Tyler the Creator. Now, I think he's on point with that. I think they moved Cam Flognaw to Dodger Stadium this week. And so I think that's another indicator of that. On this song in particular, boom, boom, boom. Shoulder back in business, baby. Back in business. I did a full shoulder workout today. Now I'm still on lighter weights, but it's all happening. For people who don't know what I'm talking about, I hurt my shoulder on leg day. It's been an ongoing saga that we have covered in each week's chart report, and we finally made it on the other side. 1 second applause. 74, Take Me Through There, Metro Boomin, Quavo, Brisky, and YK Niche. She's everywhere. Last week, 73, peak position 69, 8 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. 75, The Fall, Cody Johnson. 76, Ruin the Friendship, Taylor Swift. 77, Wood, Taylor Swift. 78, Actually Romantic, Taylor Swift. I mean, look at this, right? When we're talking about, again, people getting pushed off the charts, there's no other era prior to the streaming era where it was possible for someone to drop an album and all of the songs charts. So any of those conversations aren't apple to apples anyway. But that's a whole run of Taylor Swift songs on this album that underwhelmed me.
Tomato.
79, FMT, Summer Walker, new entrant. 80, 1-800-Heartbreak, Summer Walker and Anderson .Paak, new entrant. 1 second applause to both of those. 81, Eldest Daughter, Taylor Swift. 82, Nice to Each Other, Olivia Dean doing her thing. Last week, 91, peak position 82, 6 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. 83, What Kind of Man, Peter McCollum. 84, Went Legit, G Herbo. I still haven't listened to this album. I need to check this out. Lil Herb is the name of the album. I got to check it out because I really do love this song. Last week, number 70, P position number 70, 18 weeks on the chart. Number 85, Give Me a Reason, NF, new entrant. 86, Home, NF. 87, Safe, Cardi B, featuring Kehlani. Last week, 67, peak position 26, 9 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause to all of those songs. 88, Sparks, Coldplay. 89, Canceled, Taylor Swift. 90, The Dead Dance, Lady Gaga. 91, When Did You Get Hot, Sabrina Carpenter. 92, Sienna, The Marias. 93, Camera, Ed Sheeran. 94, Days Like These, Luke Combs. 95, Amen, Shabuzi and Jelly Roll. Last week, 84, peak position 56, 28 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. 96, Baller, Summer Walker featuring Glorilla, Sexy Red, and Manello. 97, Let Alone the One You Love, Olivia Dean. 1 second applause to both of those. 98, Losing Streak, Blake Roman. 99, Favorite Country Song, Hardy. And number 100, How Far Does a Goodbye Go, Jason Aldean. So that is the Billboard Hot 100, as we always do each week here on the chart report. We take a look at the Billboard 200, the top 20 of the Billboard 200, and still at number 1, Life of a Showgirl, Taylor Swift. 1 second applause. Number 2, finally over it, Summer Walker. Summer Walker, peak position number 2, new entrant. Massive debut for Summer Walker. Again, let me know what you guys think about this project in the comment section. 1 second applause. Number 3, I'm the Problem. Ilyat Gross. Number 4, Fear EP NF. This is one we talked about here. Peak position number 4, new entrant. 1 second applause. Number 5, K-pop Demon Hunter soundtrack. Last week, number 3, peak position number 1, 22 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. Man, when you do this live, it's like, man, sometimes you gotta take a water break. Actually, truthfully, you don't even need to do it if you're just doing it live. Like a lot of times you just do this on your own when you're by yourself. Number 6, Everyone's a Star, 5 Seconds of Summer. Number 7, Olivia Dean, The Art of Loving. Last week, number 5, peak position number 5, 8 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. I really love this album. Like, I'm a big fan of Olivia Dean, and I'm not sure how many of you have actually listened to this project yet, but I just think she's a star in the making. Number 8, Man's Best Friend, Sabrina Carpenter. Number 9, SOS SZA, still running the business. Last week, number 7, peak position number 1, 154 weeks on the chart. 1 second applause. Number 10, One Thing at a Time, Ilyat Gross. Number 11, Am I the Drama, Cardi B. Number 12, You'll Be All Right, Kid, Alex Warren. Number 13, Stick Season, Noah Kahan. Number 14, Short and Sweet, Sabrina Carpenter. Number 15, WTR, Mas Photos, Bad Bunny. Number 16, Dangerous, the double album, Morgan Wallen. Number 17, Lux, Rosalia. I have to listen to this, apparently. I've been given great advice from someone whose opinion I really value when it comes to music, so I'll give it a listen. Number 18, Christmas, Michael Bublé. Number 19, Everything Is a Lot, Wale. New entrant, 1 second applause. And I think this is actually a really strong debut for Wale's project. They're going to push this project throughout the rest of 2026. They're going to make sure that this is as well placed as possible when it comes to Grammy nominations. I think it's a fantastic album. You can expect Watching Us, I think is a song. You can expect Watching Us with Leon Thomas to be pushed to radio in January. So that song still has an explosion. Now, I'm not sure if you've noticed this, but we didn't see any Wale songs on the Billboard Hot 100. I'm willing to bet that changes in 2026 for a number of reasons, one of which is that everything shuts down in January. So it's hard to add new songs to rotation, in December, this time of year. So I don't think that the story of this Wale project is over yet, and I think this is his best work. 1 second applause. And number 20, Hit Me Hard and Soft, Billie Eilish. 1 second applause to Billie Eilish. Word up. So that is this week's chart report. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section. Let me know if there's anything I missed when it comes to this chart report. And segment 1 is down. Now I've got a couple of other videos I want to show you guys. And so, but give me 1 second because I do have to step away for a second. So All right, I'm back. It's all happening. 1 second applause. All right, so that was the chart report. That's my first time doing the live chart report. That's the first time doing a live chart report. That's what's up, man. 1 second applause of progress. All right, let's see what we got over here. Shout out to Kenny Sloss. Kenny says, Lux by Rosalia is the #1 global album. Would love to hear your reaction to the translation of the 13 languages she sings in throughout the Bold project. 13 languages? She's singing in 13 languages? The translate, make sure, does that say the same thing that I'm reading to everyone else? 13 languages? That's something I just have to hear. I just have to hear what that sounds like. I'll definitely take a listen to it. Thank you for the suggestion, Kenny. 1 second applause. I didn't realize she was singing in 13 languages. Like, are these like native languages? Are these like indigenous languages wherever she's from? Or are these like Chinese, Japanese, English, French? I mean, I just think I got to look at the story behind this. I'm sorry. 13 languages? Wow. 1 second applause. Word up. All right. So we're going to move on to the next block here. I forgot I have these things. So I have this these lower thirds I need to use more here. And this one is called This Is Funny. Now, I think, sometimes we all really need to just have a good laugh and really appreciate the range and breadth of hip hop. And there's this video that went viral on Twitter this week that I just think it's hilarious. So let's take a look at it. And we're going to share this tab here. And let's see. Okay, we got that tab shared. We're going to add this to the stage. So check this out. I just thought this was so funny. All right, so here it goes. So this video is the family's reaction after finding their dad's old rap music video. I watched this so many times in a loop today. Check this out. Look at the daughter. She's incredulous, not impressed. Look at the mom. She's like, I remember them days. Glad them days over. I see you. That's what she is. I see you eyes. Look at this Homie is getting it. Homie is getting it. Oh my gosh. I don't even know if you guys can hear that. Can you guys see this? Can you hear it? Yeah. Okay. Like, look at this. I feel like this is like family members I've had, or definitely friends of mine I have now whose kids are like not impressed with what they're doing. So this is the palate cleanser before we move on to the next topic. But this is such 2000s rap. You know what I mean? Like, you could tell homie is like late 90s, early 2000s. And this is his joint right here. And this is right here, I think, is another example of why fathers like having sons, you know? Like, you need to have at least one of your kids, whether it's your son or your daughter, one of them got to just feel you. You know, they gotta connect with you. They got to connect with who you are now and also maybe who you used to be. You need kids that are going to just support you regardless. You know what I mean? And that is the son. And there's a new little hip hop head being birthed in real time. Look at this dancing. He's going in. I love this so much. Okay. All right. So that is that segment. He is really into it. He is really, really jigging to that. You're right about that. All right. So these are two quick stories. And I do think that there is actually an epidemic right now of like, we're 18 months since this battle. And I just feel like people just say stuff sometimes. And like, there is a couple of people who said some things around this battle. And we're going to take a look at these two stories because I don't think that I'm taking the same thing away from this battle as these OVO fans are. And so the story itself is interesting to me, which is why I'm going to share this. And so this is actually Chance the Rapper. So Chance the Rapper is talking. I'm going to share this tab instead. And Chance the Rapper is sharing one of the points around this battle that I don't feel like has been really discussed as how pioneering this element really is. Okay. This battle's been talked about ad nauseum. And I like this clip because Chance is putting something in context that we all understand and we all remember and we all know. And so let's take a look at this this clip here. All right. So here's Chance the Rapper. Listen to what he says.
The Kendrick and Drake beef was the first time that the general public started to have real discussions about paid media and botting, and not just botting views, but botting what's called negative or positive sentiment. So it's like paid bots that like pretend to be social profiles and add to discussion.
And even positive sentiment.
Yeah, positive sentiment is a thing too. Yeah. So like and brands use it, artists, labels, everybody that has capital to use it uses this. And at that time, I didn't know shit about that because I really, really am independent and just make songs and put them out and hope that people like.
So think about that. And I think he's correct. You know what I'm saying? I think more than anything else, the way he framed that is accurate, right? This is the first time that we have seen the general public have conversations around paid media. Now, in a battle context, right? I think that people have spent a lot of time talking about people who are compromised, people who are paid, right? But I don't think we've seen it to this degree in a rap battle for a number of reasons. And I think the biggest one is one of the parties sued their record label.
I'm gonna tomato.
So that definitely put a highlight on it. You know, we also had, you know, J. Cole talk about it as one of his reasons for backing out of this battle, which
tomato.
But that was a great point that Chance the Rapper was making, right? Now, the reason why this also stands out to me, because I do think that that is actually a pretty apt assessment. There's a number of things we haven't seen before in this rap battle, but the general public talking about this is new. And I think it's new for a number of reasons. One, we're squarely in the super fan environment where people are now more fans of an artist or a brand or an IP or an actor or a Marvel character than they are necessarily about the whole genre. Like, I know more Marvel fans than I know comic book fans right now. You know, I know more Avengers fans than I know Marvel fans, right? And so that's playing out musically as well. And it's the super fan environment. We talk about this all the time. Super fan is a technical term. It's any fan that's willing to spend money on an artist in 7 or more different ways. And so a lot of these conversations are taking place in that environment, in a super fan environment. And with that being the case, this battle really put a highlight on that, because no matter what actually happened in this back and forth, people who are super fans just go out there and say the same thing over and over again. And that's really where my frustration comes when it comes to OVO fans, right? I've generally taken the position more than anything else that, like, yeah, these people are fans, or these people are fans of hip hop, some of them. And there's a lot of fans who are just super fans of Drake. There's a lot of bots. And some of these people don't even exist, but they're just riding for their guy, and that's fine, right? But I just feel like they be missing the message, unless they're just trolling a whole lot. Because this post was shared by OVO-J, and OVO-J is probably one of the most notorious OVO Drake fans there is. And he says it's all happening with Trophy. Now, that is what I say, right? So he's trolling me by doing this. Here, let me put this back on the big screen so you guys can see it. So he is trolling me. So I think this better. So he is trolling me right here by doing that, right? He is like, it's all happening, right? And I don't know what the point he's trying to get across is. I'm not sure what it is or what it ain't. But that's what he's doing, right? And so he could, I mean, if they want to try to steal it, you know, that wouldn't even be possible at this point. But he's definitely trolling me, right? And so I'm looking at this like, but like, everybody uses bots in the music industry. Maybe not Chance, but when you get to certain levels of the music industry, when you're within the system. Yeah, you use bots. I'm pretty sure when Chance was on the Coloring Book, Acid Rap run, whatever the bots were of that era, yeah, they were using them. You know, there used to be stories all the time on YouTube about different artists and different labels buying subscribers on YouTube. I think Nicki Minaj got caught up in a big sweep around that. I'm sure Chance benefited from that. Maybe he didn't know, but I'm sure he benefited from that. But this one is actually just kind of crazy to me because I'm like, yo, we just saw RBX from the Dr. Dre family tree file a very detailed lawsuit that was giving specific dates and percentage increases on Drake's Spotify numbers. Now, whether that was really RBX that had that information, whether RBX is just the face of this lawsuit for this class action lawsuit, but the things that Drake was trying to allege Kendrick did in his lawsuit against UMG and failed to do successfully, RBX did to the nth degree in Drake's direction. So perhaps this isn't like, you know, a defending Drake thing. Perhaps it's just a troll, whatever it is. But this is one of two stories that I saw today that just makes me feel like this, right? I feel like we aren't paying attention to the same facts that happen over time. Because if there's one truth is that, yes, the music industry bots things. Before they botted things, they would purchase subscribers. Before they did that, they used payola and radio stations. This is an industry that started by literal, actual gangsters. People are doing their best to juice the numbers however they see fit. Like, that is just what it is. Whether the artist knows about it or not, it is part of how the industry moves, okay? And so that's just what it is, right? But I run into this quite a bit. Like, I think that one of the things that I also think about when it comes to like this discourse that's happening between Drake and Kendrick fans still, right, is I think part of my frustration is that I just expect better arguments and debates and debate points. Like, I could rattle off probably 8 or 9 different points. If I was a Drake fan, I'd be the most effective Drake fan at spreading his message, at winning the populace, when it comes to this conversation. I'd be amazing at it, right? And I know that because the things that I would think about if the things I'd be saying if I was a Drake fan, these guys never say it. They never say it. Instead, they do stuff like this, right? Well, okay, cool. Now, here's the other one that I thought was funny. So this post here, and I'm gonna play this video because it's actually a really cool piece of hip hop history here. But like this post here, right? So let's take a look at this video and I'll tell you what this post says. Actually, let's do it in that direction.
Toronto has been a part of hip hop history since day one. The second Toronto has been a part of hip hop history. Toronto has been a part of hip hop history since day one. The second hip hop record ever recorded wasn't in New York or LA. It was made in Toronto.
He's saying Toronto's been a part of hip hop history since day one. That's what he's saying right here. Okay, let me change this view actually. All right, so here's what I'm gonna start it over so you guys can take a listen to this. Because I actually think this is a really cool piece of hip hop history.
Toronto has been a part of hip hop history since day one. The second hip hop record ever recorded wasn't in New York or LA. It was made in Toronto. And the city's deep hip hop roots goes back to its Caribbean immigration. Just like NYC, hip hop was barely a thing.
Well, that part. Well, we'll let it ride.
Outside of New York. But up in Toronto, a DJ named Mr. Q was laying down history. J.W. McGee, also known as Mr. Q, was a significant figure in Canadian music history. Originally from the United States, he moved to Toronto and became a key player in the city's growing music scene. In addition to hip-hop, McGee made waves in the disco and soul genre, further cementing his influence in Canadian music. Recorded in a basement below the Cosmic Shop in Toronto's Little Jamaica, Ladies Delight dropped right after Sugar Hill Gang's Rapper's Delight, but it never got the recognition it deserved. Why is that? Well, instead of pushing it in Canada, they drove to Buffalo and sold it in the US. Hip-hop wasn't mainstream in Canada yet. No radio play, no big label backing. Canada's music industry just wasn't ready to support rap yet. Toronto's hip-hop roots run deep, and Mr. Q played a major role in setting the stage. His influence would later inspire a generation of artists from Michie Mee to Maestro Fresh West. But until 2021, Nobody even had an idea that this track existed. J.W. McGee passed away in 2021, leaving behind a legacy as a pioneer in Canadian music. His contributions helped pave the way for Canadian hip-hop and beyond. So next time you talk about hip-hop history, don't forget about Toronto, and don't forget about Mr. Q.
Well, I am the man you're about to D. Put Peter in the hearts of young ladies. As I around this town and the whole world's lost with stereophonic sounds. I got 8-track, 9-track.
Okay. 1 second applause to that little piece of hip hop history there. Now, so that is something else I was tagged on today, right? And here's what I find interesting about it. The actual post is from this guy, Apox, and he says, Toronto was making rap records before the West Coast with stronger New York ties. Parts of Canada were contributing to hip hop before California ever pressed vinyl. Not Like Us is aging badly. It's just divisive hype fueling Drake hate that Kendrick needed to spark his comeback, right? And this is, again, an example to me of like, I'm not sure if people understand like what's going on or what actually happened or or what things actually mean, right? Because the funny thing about this, more than anything else, is one, Not Like Us is aging badly. It's divisive. It's just divisive hype fueling Drake hate that Kendrick needed to spark his comeback. Well, Not Like Us doesn't talk about Canada. Like it doesn't, Not Like Us doesn't other Canada. It others Drake because it's a rap battle, right? Like this person is trying to connect this song to this argument that Not Like Us others Canada, which has been dismissed like 8 or 9 different points in the past 18 months. I'm not like, why can't you just celebrate this artist? Why can't you celebrate Mr. Q? Right. But this thread gets funnier. Right. You look at the thread and here's the person who posted, here's what they say next. Also, just to be clear, nobody's denying that the West Coast influence in hip hop. The point is that Canada, especially Toronto and Montreal, has been contributing to hip hop for just as long, if not longer. I shared this video now because of the recent discourse after the location reveal update on Twitter and generally how wild the division in discourse has gotten. Hip hop has always been global community. Watching people try to force borders into it lately is honestly disgusting. And let's be real, there's only one thing causing all this division, and it's that song. Well, that song doesn't talk about Canada. It doesn't. Like, I don't get this. I don't get this at all. Maybe I'm missing something here. Nor would I say that what Mr. Q was doing was a Canadian thing. He was doing a legitimately, unquestionably American thing. And there's a very great reason for that. Because if you follow the thread longer, you have someone saying, if you follow the thread longer, it says, this is disingenuous and not true. Shaking my head, the knowledge is at your fingertips, not healthy to deny reality. Now, this conversation is taking place over when this particular vinyl was pressed, right? When this particular vinyl was pressed, right? And so that's what they're saying. You can come to the West Coast, you can go to the West Coast and see hip hop taking place before 1979, just like you could see it all throughout New York before 1979, obviously where it's created, but in multiple places around the country before 1979. This is based on Rapper's Delight. Rapper's Delight becomes the first rap hit song, right? And so that's what this conversation is taking place about. That's the thin slice that this is taking place on. That this person is trying to use to show how long Canada's been doing stuff in hip hop, and to say Not Like Us is aging badly, even though it has nothing to do with Canada and everything to do with Drake and othering Drake. And then he expresses it again to say the location reveal has a lot of people pointing at Canada as something different. Well, it's still an American thing, regardless of where it's happening. But listen to where this goes. Right. So Apox goes, again, you're denying reality. Grok, is this a true statement? Toronto was making rap records before the West Coast. Yes, based on historical records. Toronto produced its first rap song in 1979, Mr. Q's Lady's Delight, while the West Coast's earliest official rap record was 1981, Disco Daddy and Captain Rap's The Gigolo Rap. So the statement holds true. Official rap records. This is a very particular thin slice conversation that is taking place, right? And so this guy comes out here and says, Grok, where is Mr. Q from? And Grok says, Mr. Q, JWG, was born in Fayetteville, North Carolina, USA. He moved to Toronto in 1974 and recorded Ladies Delight there in 1979, making it Canada's first known hip hop single. So even Canada's rap history comes from the United States. It comes from the United States. Okay, it's not even a thing that outside of the fact that homie happened to live in Canada. Outside the fact that homie happened to live in Canada, he still had to drive to Buffalo to push the song. And he's from North Carolina, where he lived, and he didn't move to Canada until 5 years before that. I'm not sure how Canadian that song actually is now that I think about it, now that I really look at it. And it should be a dope piece of hip hop history that everybody can celebrate. At bare minimum, it could be a great example of how, you know what, it's really not worth it to get xenophobic around locations when we're talking about Canada and United States when it comes to hip hop. Fine, I could even take that one. But to say Not Like Us is aging badly, it's just divisive hype fueling Drake hate that Kendrick needed to spark his comeback. like the Mr. Fantastic levels of reach that's taken place right there.
Tomato.
And so I think about these things together, right? It's like these two things I was tagged on today, right? You got Jay taking a pretty innocuous quote from Chance the Rapper talking about bots, knowing that Drake's lawsuit was dismissed and that the RBX lawsuit is giving a play-by-play on how Drake's team does it and doesn't seem to see the irony, or at least seems to ignore that aspect and is just playing to his base and perhaps to engagement. And then you come to the second thing, and it is an actually really dope piece of hip hop history that is lost in conversation. And they're selling it by saying a song that has nothing, that doesn't say anything about Canada, is aging badly.
Tomato.
And that's what I mean. That is what I mean when I say, like, I personally feel like anybody on that other side, on the Drake side, at this point, there's plenty of opportunity to get better at making arguments and debates. Okay. Like, I don't get it. Maybe it's fun. Maybe it's just for engagement. You guys let me know in the comment section. But there's no reason, in my opinion, that these two actually really great conversation points, right? This quote here from Chance the Rapper is actually a great conversation point. This is a great topic to discuss. Like, yo, this is actually a great point. For the first time, the general public is talking about bots. And then this fantastic piece of hip hop history, great talking point on its own, and Apox is trying to connect it to a song that doesn't even do the thing he's talking about. And oh, by the way, the guy he's trying to say is super Canadian is actually from Fayetteville, North Carolina, and the South, where all the songs and all the samples that are used in hip hop are actually from. And he only been there 5 years. You know what I'm saying? And he couldn't even break the song in Canada because there wasn't enough hip hop happening in Canada for Canadian radio and Canadian record labels to believe in it, to take a chance to play one song. So he went back to the United States. Like, I think that the argument with this is that, like, yo, this is how much Canada didn't like hip hop. They wouldn't even take a chance on their own guys trying to do something innovative and push new boundaries. They wouldn't even do that. And instead, they try to peg it to this battle that they lost a long time ago and this lawsuit that they lost a long time ago and ignore the new ones that give a play-by-play about how their guys using bots. I don't know. I just run into this stuff all the time. I don't talk about this stuff like too much, but like, I just really feel like, you know, Drake deserves a higher quality of fan. You know what I mean? And I don't like to get into the aspect of this that I think is pretty obvious that not every artist is really a breakdown, deep dive kind of artist. Like, I don't think we need to be out here trying to act like people are saying stuff that is deeper and doper than what they're really saying. I don't think we need to say, oh, shoot, yo, Kendrick is so layered and multifaceted. We got to pull everything apart. And then like and say, oh, well, Drake could do that too. Look at with Pinocchio running around with his live stream. Like, I don't think that you have to do that. I think you can celebrate the things that people are actually great at and just do that. Because I look around and everybody just looks confused over there. And I think broader population is very easy for people to stop taking people seriously. And I think that's exactly what's happening here. But I do want to shout out those two posts. I do want to shout out what Chance said. I do want to shout out this story about Mr. Q, because I actually think that is a really cool piece of hip hop history that is often forgotten. I didn't know that. And I had to look it up to make sure it was actually like a thing. And it really was a thing. And so, you know, I learned something in that process too. I just think it's always a lot better for people to just try to highlight and accentuate the things that make someone great, rather than try to say someone's so great that they can do everything everyone else is doing too. That's a totally different discussion. And I think that people just out here looking just kind of sad at this point in time. Nevertheless, 1 second applause for the new things that I learned. And that's today's episode of the Company Man Show. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, this was a much later live than I expected to go. I had a very full day today, and I wanted to see what this story could turn into. Let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna hang around here and talk to you guys in the comment section, see if you guys have any questions or anything like this. Big thank you to Ariel Smoke, my brother Ariel Smoke. 1 second applause. Chance sacrificing his family was the best, revitalized his career. Starline is a classic, so is GNX, and let God sort him out. It's all happening. Boom. I'm with all that. I'm with everything you just said right there, Ariel Smoke. 1 second applause. That is the truth. I mean, I've been working on this piece on Chance, and I was talking to his publicist last week. So hopefully we can get something on the calendar, because I do want to have a conversation with him about some of the ideas that he has put on this album that I just think are fantastic. That song Letters, to me, as soon as I saw the woman who was calling up churches during the government shutdown, I was like, yo, Chance was talking about this on Letters months ago. You know what I mean? It's bringing these type of things that happen in culture and society into the forefront and into conversation. That's one of my favorite things about hip hop. That to me, that hip hop has done that in a more wide-ranging way, in a more wide-ranging box of conversations than any other genre. And so I'm with it. Like that Starline. The only knock I have against Starline is that there's like 3 songs at the end that every time I hear them, it feels like it should be the last song, but then the album keeps going. And that's a pretty good problem to have, because that is an amazing love letter to Chicago in 2025. And I think people need to take a listen to that. So big shout out to you, Ariel Smoke. 1 second applause. And let's see what we got. Divine Eternally says, might you have plans to interview J-Rock? DJ Head revealed that he has an album on the horizon. He does have an album on the horizon, and I'm 80% sure that I'll be talking to him in one fashion or another. But I'm looking forward to the new J-Rock. Just an incredible MC all the way around. 1 second applause. And I'm gonna take one more, and then we're gonna wrap today's episode, and then. But big thank you. So I'm definitely trying to, again, figure out what the right pattern is, what time, what's the right time, what's the best way to do this. And so thank you guys for bearing with me. Nothing starts off dope. 1 second applause. All right, so let's see what we got here. My World is Square says, deciding to stream on West Coast hours is a crazy business decision, but we appreciate you. Much love from Canada. It actually wasn't the decision. It was actually just what happened. Like, that's another reason I was saying this yesterday, or the last stream or the one beforehand, where I was like, I don't want to keep doing this late in the day. Just out of respect to all my friends and family on the East Coast and abroad, but I still have to continue stacking reps, and I still needed to get this live stream out today. So I appreciate you. My World is Square. 1 second applause. Let me know if you knew about Mr. Q too, by the way, because I do think that's a legitimate dope piece of hip hop history. Like Mr. Q he was like, oh, he's a visionary. Like, there's oh my God, what was that? We learned this in business school and finance. It was there's your innovators, there's your early adopters, and there's your laggards, right? The innovators are the ones who come up with cool stuff, but they always end up losing money because they spend all the money and they spend all their resources coming up with the new thing. And then there's the early adopters who are like, oh, this is fly. And they end up being the ones that do the best because they can figure out something that's happening right now and where it's going to go, and they can be at the forefront of it. That's Mr. Q, right? And then you have laggards who are like, showing up way late with his old news and acting like it's new stuff. Like Mr. Q's dad might have been, if he was a hip hop head, jumping on the hip hop bandwagon in 1993. He's like, maybe there's something here, so, but that's what that is. All right. I appreciate you guys. We'll be back again tomorrow with more live streams. And again, the goal of this again is to help free up my time so that I can add more think pieces to this as well. My World is Square came back and said, my hip hop history only goes back to Maestro Fresh West. All this was new to me. There's actually an interesting video on Friday Ricky Dredd's channel you should check out. And it's a documentary he did. I think it's on the first rap battle. I'm not sure what it is, but like there's Friday Ricky Dredd's been doing some cool Canadian hip hop history pieces that just span just the range of artists that have come out of Canada. And so maybe it's good to take a look at. All right. Thank you guys for rocking with me as always. My name is Justin Hunt. Like and subscribe to the channel. Follow at The Company Man on everything, including The Company Man podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. It's all happening.
Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening.